for a long period of time. I don't know, I was panicking. I wasn't sure whether to go try and find her after a while, or I was take my brother with me.
Were you?
I just didn't want to say that.
Why?
Because she was very reactionary, and she could try to hit me or just yell and scream or go off, and I really never volunteered something like that. I was against the wall, and they sat us there, and so much time had gone by that these two security guards started making fun of us, that our mother had abandoned us, that she wasn't coming back. What were they going to do with us? We probably have to stay here all night. And a lot of times she would be late, and so I would be late for the next practice.
And while you were waiting, I mean, would all the other kids be waiting around also to be picked up from school, or would they be gone already?
All the mothers and fathers would come and, from school?
From school or from sports? Or?
Well, from school, they would be taking the buses, and a lot of times my mom would we would get into big arguments because she would say that she was there and I wasn't sitting on the bench waiting for her. I wasn't there, and I was there, and she just hadn't come. And she would say that she checked around the back, and she would say she's been spending an hour looking for me, and she would go into a tantrum and yelling at me and how ungrateful I could be to be wasting her time, and she was so busy, and she was going to tell my dad.
Would any people offer to help you out at these times when you're
One
sitting
time that I remember at Sportorama, one of the fathers offered me a ride, and I told him that I knew my mom said she was going to be late, and so that's okay. I'll just wait. And the place was dark. He was worried about me, and he said, I don't think you should stay here. Maybe something happened to her. I'll take you home, or we could stay at my house and call. And I said, no, she's coming. And
how would it make you feel all these times when she was late?
I just felt that she didn't care, that her only concern was what my dad was going to think about it.
All right, let's take our recess, and we'll resume at 1:30, ladies and gentlemen. Don't discuss this case with anyone. Don't.
Anything wrong?
Now, would these be the plans that are laid out there, exactly what you're supposed to do at each point in time with your father? You were punished, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you always know the things that were going to get you in trouble?
Certain things to win.
Sustained.
Let's talk about the Pennington house. When you were living in the Pennington house, what age range does that cover for you?
11 through 18.
So if we look at the early part of the Pennington house, maybe the first 3-4 years, that period, between about 11 and 14 or 15. Did you get punished by your parents?
Yes. Yes.
And you talked before about your mother's tantrums or rages. Did your mother have tantrums or rages?
Yes.
And how far back do you remember seeing that kind of behavior by your mother?
Since I can remember.
And did those rages stop at some point in time?
No.
Did they get worse as time went on? Say
Yes.
And what would she be like when she was in a rage?
She would just be completely out of control, screaming, grabbing things off counters and shelves and breaking them, throwing things around the house. Sometimes come after you, sometimes run away. Just a complete explosion.
What did she look like when she was in these rages?
just completely tense and
You just
just
make,
ready to, explosion is the only word I can think, just ready to really, like she's trying to hold back and is not able.
you keep making a gripping motion with your fists.
Yeah, she would use her fists against you, and her veins would bulge out, and her face would clench, and her arms would flail, and she would just be out of control, and she'd be running around, and you'd just be either hiding or I just stood there and not move. Sometimes Eric would run out of the room.
Would she
Just-
say things when she was in these rages?
You have to make us a time.
Just,
In the Muncie house, when she would go into these rages, do you remember the things she would say?
Yes.
What would she say?
She would say that you're a bastard, you ruined her life, you're ungrateful. How can you use that tone of voice with me when I clean up after you all day? Wait till your dad gets home. I'm going to tell him how lazy you've been today. You're a terrible boy.
Would she use that tone of voice?
No.
Would she speak louder than that?
She speak louder, and my mother cursed a lot.
Was it frightening?
It was terrifying, and it was confusing.
Why was it
Because it just...
confusing?
You just didn't know why. You'd just explode constantly. You'd just be walking around the house like this because my mother could go off like that, and you could be hurt. She could throw things at you. Sometimes she'd grab me when I was little and hold me on the ground in awkward positions. Grab me upstairs and put me underneath her bed. You just never knew what was going to happen, so you were just scared, and you were just tense.
You say she would put you under your bed, under her bed. Would this be a punishment?
I don't know if you use the word punishment. These were just, she did these things on a regular basis when she exploded, and one of them was putting me under the bed.
How long would you be under the bed?
Till before my dad came home.
So would this happen just a few minutes before your dad would come home, or would
No,
it
I'd
happen?
be under there for all afternoon, early evening.
What was it like underneath the bed?
It was claustrophobic. It was only about this high, and I just had enough room to get under, and
Could you turn over?
you couldn't turn over. No. And the ferret went to the bathroom all under there, so the whole area was never cleaned. So it was like a urine smell. And it was terrible, and that's why she put me there. Pennington.
Okay. Well, tell me what it was like when your mom was helping Eric with his homework.
She was in a rage again.
How would
just-
they be doing it? I mean, would she be writing his homework for him, or helping him, or explaining things to him patiently? What would she be doing?
He'd be writing, and she would just be watching like this. And as soon as he made a mistake, she'd take the paper and she'd go, "God, do it again! Do it again!" And then my brother would just be like this, and he would go over and write again. She would wait like about 10 seconds. And she'd grab the thing again, and she'd just crumple it up, and she'd slam it down again, and then she'd just start hitting. And just on the back of the head and his back, and he was supposed to keep writing. And I remember one time my dad walked in, and I don't think he had any idea that sometimes that these things were going on in the house, because he was in shock. And he just was in shock. And my brother looked at him and he was crying, and I told him later that you got to do something for my mom. because she was out of control.